Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. And yes, I'm putting on bitch mittens. Uh, my hands got really torn up last night, covered in crap. So I figured I would do a little bit of saving as part two of taking our 1MZ out. Uh, I will bring you guys closer. I need to figure out a plug because the need some power to that. The and yeah, I have a pullover on because it's actually brisk outside. It's 60 something. So we went from 90s to 60s in like 3 or 4 days. So um, yeah, this engine we were very surprised last night. We ran compression on it. Um, hang on. Okay, just replying to texts. So we ran compression on 1, 3, and 5 last night, and we came up with 240, 235, and 235. From the factory, they should be about 220. So I'm very, very happy with this engine. Very, very happy. I can't tell you how happy I am. This car has 248,000 miles on it. Someone obviously took care of it. There's a sticker right here that's a little hard to see. It's on the timing belt cover. They put a new belt on about 50,000 miles ago. So someone took care of this car, and they, might have had a whole bunch of Michigan underneath because it's all corroded and rusted out. But the engine and drivetrain, they definitely took care of. So I'm very, very happy about that. This is a good score. This was 300 bucks. Actually, in total, with renting the trailer, gas, driving up there and back, about 500 bucks for this engine and the E153 transaxle that we got with it. So the rest of the car is going to scrap. That will go tomorrow. We'll take that to the scrap yard. What we really need out of here is the engine, the wiring, the ECU, and the transmission. We got the ECU out last night, which is important. It needs to stay with this. And then we can get rid of that dead block, and that this engine will go on that, and we will take that to races. This will be our backup. It'll actually be a whole backup powertrain. Once this transaxle gets rebuilt, it will be bulletproofed. We will have an extremely strong, very nice engine with a bulletproof trans, and that will be something we can just drop out of the car, put right back up, jam axles in, done. Should take us 2 hours to drop, 2.5 hours to drop and put the new engine in. So that is the whole plan. That's why we're doing all of this. It's going to be kind of loud in here. I'm going to use some air tools for some of this stuff, and I'll bring you guys in closer. I'll try and have light on here, and I'll do the best I can with explaining what I'm doing. If you do have questions, definitely post it up in the chat. I will. I'll keep checking back on the chat to see if you guys are still okay. I'm going to find an extension cord so that I can move this thing around. Excuse me for a minute. We have an extension cord back here. So, yeah, it'll take me a second here to move you guys. I'll put you in position and then I'll plug everything in. So I'm going to try and get you in a spot where you have a pretty good view of stuff. Move some of these things out of the way. Get our power supply here. Ooh, power supply is warm. Working. It's absolutely working. Oh yeah, I'm going to plug that in over there. That'll work. Yeah. All right, hang on a second here. And let's give it some stability here. Once we get the stop extension cord, stop helping. Okay. There we go. I get some light in here for you guys. Where's our lights at? Here we go. I don't know why there's a screwdriver on the roof. Someone left it there last night. So, oh, you can hear the crust and rust and crap on here. Oh, rough. Very rough. All right. So with this car, the engine's going to come out of the top. I thought we were going to take it out of the bottom, but because this is a front wheel drive car, we'd have to remove the whole subframe. With as rusty as the subframe is, and because we have to put it on a trailer, we have to roll it back on. We're going to go the other way. We're going to lift it out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this, the intake plenum. This is called the plenum. And I'm also going to remove the wiring back here for the harness. So we'll start with the crossbar, and most of the stuff on the right side of the engine has been removed and is clear to come out. The only thing I have is one fuel line, and that's a high pressure fuel line. So hoping that it depressurizes as we're doing this. We have a lot of this stuff unhooked. The AC is unhooked, but again, it's also been deleted. Brian wanted to remove this radiator last night, and I thought since we're going through the bottom, we didn't have to remove the radiator, but we can probably take the radiator out now because we'll like that extra room up here. We will have to go underneath the car, cut the exhaust off. This actually has a very nice header system on the car that comes from the factory. These heat shields come off, and we Cerakote these parts, and it's actually very, very nice exhaust, very efficient and good for power. So I'll get cranking on this. I'm going to set the mic over here because I'm going to be using power tools and I don't want to blow you guys out. So let's get cranking on this. I'm going to put a couple of lights on charge too, like this guy last night. I think he was out of power. So I'm going to charge some of these guys up. And this guy was also out of power. Where's my other power cord here? Come here, power cord. Where'd you go? No, and no. Here he is. Maybe. And maybe. There he goes. All right. We ran when we had the coil packs off, we ran the bore scope down there, pulled the plugs and ran the bore scope down. They look absolutely beautiful inside. There's a little bit of carbon buildup, but nothing. I'm guessing this car ran on 87 or 89, and so it didn't burn a lot of that carbon away. But we're going to be running it on 93, so we'll run some fuel system cleaner, and hopefully we can clean up what those pistons look like inside. We were thinking about pulling the oil pan, looking at crank bearings and rod bearings and stuff. Entirely unnecessary. This engine has enough compression for us to know that the rest of that stuff is in really, really good shape. We're going to run much better oil than whatever they ran in here. So yeah, this engine will be in really nice shape. When I get too warm, I'll pull the hoodie off. So I'm going to set you guys there. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. If you can't hear me, say something in the group message or shoot me a text. This is brought to you by Rockstar. Oh, that's the good stuff. All right, put on our safety squints and get going. These are 14 mils. These. Now, because these are the strut mount bolts, we have to put them back once we get the crossbar off. Thought I was going to be a badass and lift that off with one hand, but I'm not. Camry crossbar. This is just stamped steel. Nothing special about it. Put it in the car. Like the rest of our parts. Starting these bolts by hand, even though it's a scrap car. go. Sometimes you got to put stuff back together. Like I said, don't be afraid. One of the big things about working on cars, a lot of people are really afraid to do this stuff. You don't have to be. There's a replacement for it. This is the cover for we're not using. What I really should do is raise this up and get that exhaust off so we can use it. But I don't want to deny Brian the fun of destruction. He loves that stuff. All of this stuff here on the plenum is part of the emissions control, the EGR system. And we don't use any of that in the race car. Absolutely none. It's really of no use to us. So like this stuff, I have no use for. This is a charcoal filter, a one-way filter. No use for that. So a lot of this stuff is just going to get garbaged out. Come across hoses like this. It's actually a really nice heat resistant hose. So we're going to hang on to that guy because we might be able to use him somewhere else. Because we have enough stuff. This guy. Remember, pull the connectors, not the wires. Damn. It's on there. A lot of corrosion. Here we can see our fuel rail, and again, this is a returnless system. It's kind of a one-way. We'll have to get a return system, which is not a big deal. But what I need to do is get all this EGR crap out so that we can get to the intake plenum and get him off. Those two guys. One, two right here. On this side. Where is that? Quite quick. I'm there. Oh, he's on the other side. Both are 10 mils. Back here. The stuff we're going to save the nuts. So hooked on. Hooked on this guy. off of that guy. This little hose we don't need, so I'm going to help him out. Liberating him. He's going to be free. Now we just have injectors and the rest of this wiring. This goes with the wiring harness. This. Here's a pro tip. When you have connectors like this that are stuck and they've been like this for 20 years, sometimes it helps to push them tight so that you can then push them loose. It just kind of breaks the corrosion and dirt and stuff that's in there. Sometimes you need a pry tool. Pry tool. God, really? Certain stuff gets in these connectors. It's hot and it seals. Stain. There we go. See, that was a little back and forth. It pops right off. All of this is the wiring for this guy. He's in there. And oh, here comes Brian. So I'm going to be quick. Shred everything. So I'm going to grab some pliers and get that out. Just some regular needle nose should do. Let's see. It's black. There goes a little light. But I have this guy. Plug. We're just gonna. And there's a bunch of our EGR stuff. And again, this is just garbage too. We're not using any of these solenoids or check. So now the good part is this leaves most of our wire harness here free. We'll undo the injectors. Actually, we can leave the injectors on. We can leave all of this stuff on. We have everything else free. Wires and my light. I'll put these guys back on, these nuts that we used, because we can use them for something else down the road. We have 4 bolts that hold the plenum on. We have 2 Allens here that are 8 mils. We have 2 14s on the backside to be able to remove the whole plenum. Before I do that, I'm going to blow some air in here and get rid of all of the potential crap that can fall down in there. Allow it for a second. these are 14 on the ends. 14 now. The extension in. 14. Oh crap! I just remembered. Here's another fun part. I'm gonna actually all over. We have a brace in the back here. It goes all the way down to the block. There's that too. I'm totally going full Darksaber on me. So. This guy, same thing. I'm just going to leave a few threads on him. Swap over and do these 8 mils. Wow. These guys are on there. Okay. Also, it could be wrong. Yeah, here's another trick for you. Sometimes back and forth works. So, going backwards. Oh, now it popped out. But sometimes you go back and forth with stubborn bolts. Just go tight for a little bit, a 1/16 of a turn or whatever. And sometimes you can get stuff to break free. You're trying to break that, whatever's going on inside there. All the way in the back here, I have another bolt. I have a brace that goes all the way down to the block. And I want to say those are 12s. Again, I'm going to have to look back here. Has, of course, a wiring harness hooked up to him. There's also another part of the harness hooked up here. Oh, no, this is a hard line. I think it's for the clutch. It's supposed to be back against the firewall there. So, this guy, I believe, is a 14. But he's attached to the block. So can't really get down to him. That guy is in the way, though. Right. Where was this guy? He was hanging out there. That's what I need, is the hood to slam down on me. Optimal, wouldn't it? This is supposed to be back somewhere. Stay there. So that's something they missed whenever they were doing whatever kind of clutch service they were doing. Here. Other bolt or the brace is way, way, way down here. I believe they're 14s. They might be. This guy, I think I can get with a regular wrench. Let's see. Let's try this again. Whoa. Yeah. Bad. Not enough. Finger loose. Yet. But we're getting there. Just we have that clutch line in the way. It's difficult to tell. The clutch line is right. And you can't get a hand in there. 14 tall is going to be too tall. So I'm going to cheat, but we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to use power. If I can. Okay. So there's our bolt. He didn't have very much on him. The other thing we should do, since we have that out, our 14 should take the ground strap off of this. Oh, it's a 12. Sorry. There's another tip. Even though you're taking the ground strap off, you might use it again, you might not. This one can actually stay on. Just put the nut back on. Same thing with bolts. If you take bolts out, just put bolts back where they were once you have them out. It's a good way to remember where the hell they go. So this guy now should be. Oh, he has one hose down. Now off. Have our brace off. Oh, this bolt is still really tight. So, see if we get him to wiggle a little bit. This guy's out. Look at these two center ones. On the one MZ, they are hex head. They are Allen head. Very easy to remember. And the ends. Now, set that back in the same little tray. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to support the back of this. Take this guy off. Oh, okay, he's going to stay in place. That's a good sign. And also check the bottom gasket. Easy. It should be clear now. Except he's not. This damn thing is still on here. Yeah. This are he's still on there. He's still piped up. And we're not using him. So if I can take him off, optimal. Let's see what we can do here. He's been on there a long time. Let's see if we can help him. Without screwing up our plan. He's broken free. Reverse. Nice. Except someone never cleared out. See. Excuse me for a second. I'm gonna device. Stop. Fixing tools. Sorry. Screw and cleared out. Garbage in the tool. Cleared the sides of the punch. So I'll show you this one here. I actually have the punch. I had to clear out a bunch of stuff that was in the tool. And now the punch is stuck in the tool because the ends are flared out. He won't come out. Well, he's going to come out in a second. Because separation, anxiety. Pain in the ass. Well, necessary, but someone would have cleared out the tool beforehand, we wouldn't have to do this. Dealing with a very small bolt. There's no reason to use a huge wrench. Probably could have taken them out with my finger, but those are those two guys. Still up here. Didn't we just break this free? Oh, anything else connected here? Correct. Oh, yep. Sorry. Put 12 back here. My apologies. I'm gonna put this guy on just so that. All right. Out here. 14. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I forgot about this other support brace. Mainly because he's on the HER side. We're going to do the same thing. Save that one too. Off of there. But we had tapped him off and he was happy. I thought. This is where stuff gets broken. Broken. 100 miles an hour. Oh, you do this. All of a sudden, you broken stuff. That guy is on there. Holy crap. He's like jacking up the casting. Wow. He does not want to come loose. Hooray. Something different. This guy still is. Cool. Now he's stuck in there. There we go. All right. Sometimes you gotta use a chisel. Now what did I get for you? Okay. gasket to fall down. Back here. Let's see if we can support them out of here without too much damage. This is just an airline. Sorry, vacuum. He's pressed up against. Strap is driving me crazy. Mostly off here. God, the CGR is cast iron and there's a steel pipe in this back. It makes him not want to be flexible at all. So, he just doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to let this top section go. It's causing all sorts of problems. Let's do this. You know what? No, it is not attached. And I'm wondering. See, I gotta come back down here. All the way. So. This is weird. Not like flexing it all, but there's no bracket. There is. Okay. I got you, you little bastard. I got you, you little bastard. Oops. No, that's the right guy. No, he's. Hiding him on me now. I'm wondering why it's so dangerous. It's this guy. Hey, look, he flexes. Right? Out of the way. That again. Do one more time. Okay. It's our gasket for our EGR. That almost made it in the front. Now, we come back over there and lift this bottom up enough. fuel gun. And I have one other ground strap back here. Really? Of course. Everything catches on your gloves and kills them. I forgot. There's another ground strap back here. He's 10. So, almost there with the plumbing. This is a huge step for us. Ooh, getting a look inside there too. Since I'm right here, of course, I'm just going to put this bolt back in. And I believe on the MR6, we also use this grounding strap. So. Yeah. We'll have one of the biggest parts of the engine out. Make it a lot easier to lift this thing out. So, this is our intake plenum. So we have our throttle body goes right here. So air goes in here. Air is managed in here. It gets distributed as it comes through here, and then goes into each of the 6 intake ports. And this guy, you can see there's nasty stuff in there. We'll get him ultrasonic cleaned. He's going to go to the Cerakoter, but this is in amazing shape. A gasket is still down there. So let me set this off to the side. And we'll take a look at our gasket. Yeah, there is a ton of garbage. Yes. It's kind of hard to see. This is what happens when you use cheap ass gas. So this is our gasket. He's actually in very, very good shape. He's an all metal gasket. Starting to split right here. These are thin layers that are spot welded together. And this guy's starting to come apart. So he's basically at the end of his life, but I don't see any major leaks on any of these. Getting close over here, but nothing major. So this guy was in very, very good shape. He get thrown away. We don't need him anymore. And then this will all get. I can show you guys some of the. This is some of the chunky chunks that are in there. So this is carbon crap. Gets blown. It's either blown back or gets mixed in here. We'll clean these up really well. We'll put the cylinder up at the top. Clean all this up, and that's going to get Cerakoted too. So when this all gets pulled apart, we'll clean all that stuff up. We'll put the cylinders at TDC for each cylinder and blow it all out when it's all done. It should be very clean. For kind of stay as is, I'm going to put some paper towels in there so it doesn't get any worse. Guys, I'm going to get some new gloves too. Take off the hoodie because it's getting warm. So, no questions in the chat. Okay. Stupid cigarette. Now we have a lot more room to wiggle that engine out. A lot more room. Without damaging stuff. without denting it. Oh, that's good enough. So I'm pretty content with that. Look at these. Yeah, this is regular carbon buildup. I'm gonna look down inside. Yep, this is 248,000 miles worth of carbon. That's all that is. This should hopefully clean out with some nice gas. Run this gas through here. All of these guys. Oof. We'll clean up what we can, but still impressive numbers. The 240 and 235, still very, very impressive numbers. So now also we have access to where we can strap one of the engine hoists. We'll also use it on the headers over here. So when we put the hoist in here, we can lift up and pull everything out. So we're actually pretty damn close. We need to lift the car up, cut the axles, take it off, and then cut the exhaust. Then we can, once we get the electronics through, we can lift this engine out. Undo the engine mounts. There's actually a shock right here. There's a fluid damper here. We have the engine mount here. And we have the engine mount or the trans mount in the back. So, and I believe there's one on the outside of it too, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've done a manual Camry, like 3 years. Cut me some slack. Yeah, this thing is extremely close. I'm amazed at those numbers. It still just blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. Yeah, when Brian gets here, we'll probably pull the hood off this and set it on the roof. Oh shit! He opened the sunroof. Nice. So let's come back over here. Let me get some paper towels in there, so we don't get any more. I was smart. I'd sew them very clean and let them do the work. But we're gonna clean them out a little bit. All right. This prevents bugs and bolts and dirt and stuff from getting in. Never know what's going to fall in there. All right, I will be right back. We're going to do a bathroom break. Right back. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I closed the door. All right, I'm back here. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Put the mic back on because I don't think we're going to be using a lot of power tools here. I'm going to focus on this section up here. Move you guys a little bit. And this is where the wiring comes through the firewall. Get a light over there too. I'm going to put some of these tools away too because I don't want them lost. Gone with the car. Had that happen a few times. Where you send a car to the junkyard and your tools go with it. That is not fun. Come here, 12. All right, let's close this off. Give me that back. And the little guy can go back on here. And we have a light. So I'll bring a light over here for you guys, see if I can get it onto something metallic without it being super in the way. Hopefully that helps. And you can see the grommet that comes through here. Now the other stuff that's on here is there's a diag port right here, which, how does this guy open? That's the hinge, so it pops open here. And you can run, you take a paper clip and you put it between 2 points, and that'll run, like you run your fuel pump, it'll do a whole bunch of diagnostic. You have a little chart inside here that tells you what each of these pinouts is. So it's kind of old school OBD1 stuff. This is power for something. Hot, hands off, showed, nip off touche. So we'll touch it and see if we can't get this connector, which, by the way, is totally upside down, so I can't see. Oh, there's the safety. Oh, he just came off his bracket, which also doesn't help me. There we go. He can go back on his bracket. Not sure what that guy's for. He is ABS, maybe? Anyway, he can actually stay together. I'm going to just push him out of the way. We're going to pull this firewall plate out of the way, this insulation, because it's very much in our way. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm reading text. Sorry. I text very slowly. My apologies. Okay. Next part is leaf out of the way. And I'm using my fingers because they're a little less damaging than pry tools. But I'll try to show you guys this big, huge grommet right here. This grommet. And then we should be able to pull all this wiring out, but we cannot. Well, maybe we can. I don't know how much stuff Brian unhooked, if he unhooked everything. So we have to go back underneath the dash and take a look and see if Brian unhooked everything. Let's take a peek. Let's get a slam of our Rockstar. Oh, we're almost out. The good stuff. All right. Let's see if Brian removed all this underneath here. Everything from that harness, not quite. Still have a bunch of stuff here. Hang on. That guy. And that guy. That guy. And this guy. I don't know where the tab is for him. There he is. Okay. So now should be the entire harness. Okay. You got the ECU unhooked, but not any of the other control stuff. So it's all right. Should be able to pull this out of here now. There's our connectors. One at a time or two at a time. And here's all of our connectors from inside the car. This is a lot of control module, warning lights, all that stuff. These two right here are for our ECU. So the rest of this stuff we're not really going to use. These guys, very, very, very important. So we'll drape that on the engine. We now have our main wiring harness free. We're going to have to undo the clutch and the shifter cables. Those guys are on this side, so I might bring you guys over here. Oh yeah, forgot that's cast iron. It'll stick right there. We have our two clutch cables here, and our steering and hoses, our brake stuff. So the nice part is this has a separate clutch master cylinder. In some cars, your clutch uses your brake fluid. Uses your brake fluid. Kind of a pain, but that is how that goes. I want to look further down here because I know there's the two brackets. Yeah, there's our safety lockout, which this guy can get unplugged. Can't do it left-handed. All right. That's our reverse lockout
or our reverse light, maybe. So this, these shifter cables have to come off, and this clutch cable has to come out. We're going to disconnect it. I don't know where we're going to disconnect it yet. Don't really want to do it up there. Where does he come over? He comes over in. Okay, that's our one cable in. Okay, and then he goes out to there. Got it? Okay. All right. So I guess we're going to disconnect our clutch right here. And our clutch cables will disconnect at the, we'll just take the bracket off. Well, we need the bracket is the thing. So we'll disconnect the cables and take them out. That's going to be the easiest way to do that. We will leave the cables, we'll leave the bracket in there because we need the bracket for our shifter cables. So that will be the trans. So let's get, do you guys want to move over to this side so you can see what the hell I'm doing? Let's do that. Hopefully this is charged up enough. Yeah, I think you're charged up enough. So I'll bring you guys over. Hopefully you can get a nice view down in here. We're going to be way down in there. So let me see if I can, you guys can see me back here with these clutch cables. So there's two little safety pins. One's vertical, one's horizontal because of how the linkage works. So we need to save the bracket that they're on, which is back here. But what we can do is we can disconnect these cables. Again, I'm going to go get some new bitch mittens. We disconnect the cables and then we'll pull C-clips out and lift the cables up and out of them. Then for the clutch line is right here. This is where brake fluid is going to pour out of because this is still full. And we're going to remove this clip right here, and that's going to let that stay with the car. And that's fine, and we'll have our clutch master cylinder over here. On the MR6, we have it as a custom, it's a braided line that's custom. So that works out really well. So that's how we're going to disconnect transmission. Okay, let me grab some Globez. And I'm going to grab a Rockstar too. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. I'm trying to keep going on this. Yeah. Trying to keep going. All right. All right. I'm totally here with you guys. I'm sorry. I had to reload. You know how it is. So we'll get those shifter cables off. It's already 1:15. Damn. It's all right. I'm going to need an extra set of hands with the engine hoist anyway. I don't need it. It would be nice to have. So I'm going to leave the hammer and punches out because I'm going to need those. I'm going to leave the pliers out because I'm going to need those too. Okay, so these little clips you can do by hand. They're just little safety clips. I don't know which way this guy goes. So, because I can't see down there. All right. There's the other one. Same kind of style. He's just pushed in vertically, so I couldn't really see him. And these guys will slide off. There's a washer on top. We're going to save those parts because they're actually very handy. And then this is a rubber grommet, which is kind of tight. Oh, he stayed on there. All right. Oh, yeah. He's going to stay on there. He's been on there his whole life. This guy is hopefully going to slide off of here. He might. Oh, he might need some extra motivation. Wow. Again, we will take the steel part of the shifter cable off and leave the rubber section on there because he's not coming off. And that's the last thing I got to do is pull this fuel line. I'll do that after I'm done inside there. So now we have these clips, and these will probably be very difficult to get out. Because they haven't moved in 150 years. So I'll try a bigger set. See if we can get in there. Usually just use a punch and punch them out from the bottom, but oh my God. Wow. Wow. So those are the C-clips that are in there. And he was in there vertically like this. You just have to wiggle them out. Yeah. Wow. So there's one. And then we'll see if we can get in here to do this guy. It's our second one. Of course, we have our clutch line in the way. This one's a lot easier. Still no walk in the park, but he comes out a lot easier. All right. You guys stay up there. Let's see if I can lift these Shifter cables up and out. Yep. There we go. So there's one shifter cable loose. We're just going to tuck him down by the steering here. So we do not need him anymore. And then we'll see if we can do the same. Oh, yeah, this guy's way looser. All right. All right. We will tuck him down by the steering rack because we don't need him anymore. And we just want to make sure that they're out of the way of everything else we're going to be lifting in here. So 2 shifter cables. Let's do a brake line. And we use our AN wrenches. I believe he's a 10 mil. Not totally sure here. Hey, good job, Kev. And again, with brake lines and clutch lines, sometimes it's okay to go tight and then loose. That really helps break those up. Those guys are pretty fine thread, and they tend to get a lot of gunk in them. So this is our clutch line. This sends hydraulics to the slave cylinder down here. And the slave cylinder pushes the clutch fork in and out. Now, the biggest difference between this and what we have in the race car mostly is wiring. A lot of this wiring will not be used in the race car. But the other kind of funny part is a lot of it will be used because we took a 1987 car, which is technically OBD1, and it's actually even pre-OBD1. No, it's OBD1, and turned it into an OBD2 compliant car, which people do not do. I don't think you're going to find another person on YouTube that has ever done anything like that. People will do standalone systems. They will not do, they'll do a Haltech or a Motec or got the other guy, Mega Squirt. They'll do that before they do any kind of, Jesus, how long is this fitting? Because it's very difficult to rewire an entire car. It's a lot easier just to get an engine management system, but we did it with the MR6. It's pretty amazing. Everything works too. We actually have 2 OBD ports, OBD2 ports. Okay. Damn, how long is this fitting? Come on, buddy. All right, I think we're almost done here. It's a basic flare fitting brake. It's a lot like, very much like a brake line. But I have very limited movement here. I can only do it, a quarter turn at a time. There's a lot of threads going on here. I'm not sure why. And for flare fittings, just for reference, we use flare wrenches. They bite on 5 sides, not just 2. Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Sorry.
I bet on 4 sides, not just 2. You guys can see that. So 10 mil that we've been using. And I think we're at the end of it. So we're gonna use our, we'll use the big set again. God, why is it so hard to put tools back where you found them? That's like kindergarten shit, man. All right.
So we're going to pull the clip off here to hopefully undo our clutch line. Again, this is another clip like this, a little smaller than the other guy. So damn, there's still threads left in there. That's amazing. All right. I'm gonna have to put this clip back in. A lot of times you can just push those in with your thumb.
I guess there's just a lot of threads on this. That's cool.
But wow, okay. I thought I'd be able to turn it by hand, but now he's a big fitting. The other problem is the wrench is the exact height to get caught up in this fuel filter or the fuel line. See, I'm almost turning by hand now. The other problem is brake fluid is very, very slippery. It's basically hydraulic fluid. Okay. We got a half a turn by hand. Getting there though. I can see the end of the flare fitting. So let's pull this out. See, yep, there we go. And there's our clutch line. We're going to bring this over. We're going to tuck him vertical so it keeps all of his fluid in there. We don't need that leaking out. We already have enough leakage down here. So that's it for the clutch stuff. And I'm going to save these parts because we can use them, reuse them, I should say. It will go in the parts bin over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. These just can stay out. We'll wipe them down. Now what we want to do, last thing on this side, since we know fuel is going to go everywhere and we're disconnected pretty much everywhere except the main mounts, I'm going to open this fuel line and he's going to spew fuel once I get to the sides. And that will kind of be it for tonight. No. All right. Well, he didn't spew as much fuel as I thought he was going to. So, oh, there he goes. There he goes. Yeah, buddy. Okay. So we will tuck him away because we're going to use him, but we're not going to use any of the fuel filter or anything. We have our own filter set up. That is it for all of the ancillary stuff. The only thing we have left is the exhaust and the 4 main mounts. We have a trans mount down here, and I'm probably going to pull that shock. You guys can't really see the shock, can you? Bring you over here. This right here, that is actually a shock. I swear. And that is for anti-vibration. That's for when you're accelerating and decelerating. It just makes for a very, very smooth ride. But we can pull that shock mount right now. And then we'll call it a night because the only thing we have left are the 4 mounts, and Brian will be by in the morning. We can do the 4 mounts. Oh, and we have to take the AC off, but we can do the 4 mounts in the AC tomorrow. not a huge, hairy deal. So I'm going to grab the zoomer, and what do you guys think? What size bolt do you think this is? Think that's a 14? Think that's a 12? It's dual. I'll tell you that right now. Where did he go? Oh, he's still on there. He's still on there. So, do we think he's a 14? Oh, he's a 14. Okay. So we got to be careful because we're going to do the top one first. There we go. All right. Loud noises. Ah, he's just spinning. All right. Hang on. Where'd you go? 14? 14. So do this on the lower. Whoa, come back here. Why am I doing this backwards? Stay on there. There's one. Is garbage. Let's see if we can get. Now this guy has a holder up here, and you know what he also has is he has a 14. He has two 14s down here that we could very easily just as easily get rid of. He also has two 14s straight down here, which we can also very easily get rid of. Let's do the two 14s down there. It's just less pain in the ass. So let's get another extension. Make sure we use our chrome sockets. And there's one bolt. Okay. When in doubt, use air. Now I know all the Milwaukee and DeWalt guys are jumping up and down right now. Should have got a Milwaukee in there. B14 would get that in no time. Yep, I know. I do know that. But, oh, wrong way. Where'd he go? Where's my adapter? Come back here, adapter. I know it would have gotten it. I know. But that's why we have our small air. This guy will get it. Wow. Holy smokes. My socket is super hot too. All right. Let's upgrade. Yeah, bad news, man. Your 14 isn't doing that. M14, whatever. That thing is in there.
right. Of course. All right. So, oh, crap. Adapter the other way. Okay. Air compressor is like, what are you doing? Time for big boy. Get on there. Yeah, one shot. Nitro Cat. That's the good stuff. Okay. This Nitro Cat stuff has never let me down. Love it. Okay. So back up here. Okay. Put our stuff away quick. And get our other bolt out of here. There we go. So that guy is totally loose now, which is nice. He'll come right out. We also have a big fluid damper over here. He is part of the main engine mount, and we do use that in the MR6. So this is another. Is this another OBD2? We're supposed to push. Oh no, this is a big ass 30 amp fuse. That's like a disabler fuse. Okay. I think we are pretty close. We have one engine mount up here, the fluid damper there, the trans in the back, and the exhaust. Once we get the exhaust cut, it will be a lot easier. So we're going to wait for Brian to do that stuff. So we're going to call it for tonight. We have our harness done. We have our plenum off, and cut exhaust, cut axles, and then we can bring the car back down and we can take it all off. While we're underneath, we might remove AC, depending on how we can get to the brackets and stuff. I don't know if we can get to it through there. So we might just end up, this AC system is empty, so we might just disconnect hoses. Might be the easiest way. It's just a couple of 10 mil bolts and one plug. So that's probably what we'll do. That'll be simple. Hopefully you guys have kind of enjoyed this a little bit, maybe. I don't know. It's not super simple pulling this stuff all apart, but you're trying to be careful and you're trying to save the parts you know that you're going to use later on, and that's kind of an important deal. Especially like the wiring harness and stuff. Sure, it's easy to just come in here with a sawzall and wire cutters and just jam everything out, but when you're trying to save parts and keep things together, like that reminds me, I need these guys because we're going to use them on the intake manifold or on the throttle body. So you're trying to save parts like this, and sometimes you'll forget them. You'll be like, "Oh, I totally forgot we needed that stud and bolt for a ground that we were using." So that reminds me, I can put these studs and these two nuts back on here. That way, I mean, with the intake plenum, they're pretty easy to remember, but and later tonight we'll do some shopping, see if we can find the return fuel rails with the return. That is a good thing.
Um, they're not crazy rare. They're pretty hard to find. Where's our other stud? He's hidden here with the paper. And then he's hidden here by the harness. So we're in very good shape. We're about 90% this engine out. Cutting the exhaust, cutting the axles, the 4 mounts, and the AC. That's really all we have left. We'll lift this up. We'll actually raise it up, and then the car will get raised, and then we'll put the lift in here. Slowly lower the car and raise the lift at the same time. That gives us maximum room to get everything out. And if we missed wires or grounds or whatever, we'll be able to get to them from either side, above or below. So that's where we're at. I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it was slightly educational. And if you're doing 1MZs, like I said, these are really great engines. They're very plentiful. But don't forget, this isn't a race car engine. This isn't a V12 that goes to 10,000 RPMs. This is a commuter car engine. So that's why they're so plentiful. But the good part is you can get really good power from them. They're very lightweight. That's aluminum block, aluminum heads, and their reliability. If you take care of them, obviously, like someone took care of this, the reliability is there. So using it as a race car engine is kind of a halfway decent idea because I don't want to say they're disposable, but they're easy to replace. So if you do blow one up, like that one got blown up, then you can go get another one. Like I said, we paid $300 for the car. It was about $200 for the trip with the trailer and everything. So I have a killer engine and a killer transmission for $500. I can't really beat that. Yeah, it takes a few hours to pull all this stuff out. It's actually a really good deal. Especially because Brian's going to get rid of the chassis and everything else. When we did this the last time, we actually had to save the chassis, put another 1MZ in here with an automatic transmission, make the car an automatic. That was a very big endeavor. So that took us some weeks, and getting the engine from the pick and pull yard in the rain with their gantry in the mud, it was awful. So this is a much easier setup. It only takes a few hours to do this. And once we have it all set up in race car form, it'll be very quick to put in and out of the other race car. So we'll keep doing that. I'll do a bunch of updates on this with the parts getting Cerakoted and coming back from Cerakote, new gaskets, all of that stuff. Just the top end is getting gaskets, getting a new timing belt. We'll run a really nice Gates timing belt. And like I said, all new fluids. And the trans is going to get bulletproofed. I'll do a whole series on taking the E153 apart, new gears, new synchros, new everything in there. We'll triple check measurements, all of that. So you guys, we got a ton of content coming, I promise. Hopefully this is all really good stuff that you're enjoying. And if you're not doing this exact engine, it's okay. A lot of this transfers over to other JDM stuff and other engines and transaxles and drivetrains. So you can take little bits of this and just make sure that you can apply it to whatever sort of engine swap or engine out that you're trying to do. And again, if you've got questions, whatever concerns, post them down there. I'd love to hear from you guys. I love that. I love seeing new subscribers when I get the message from YouTube. XYZ subscribed to you guys. Hey, that's awesome. So, and I got to say thank you to you guys. Viewership is up like 350, 400% in the last 2 weeks. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you very much for spreading the word. It tells me you're enjoying this, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep trying to teach you guys how to do all this cool stuff. Once again, I don't get paid for any of this. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for experience and for you guys. So I'm really, really happy that you guys are enjoying it. That's really cool. I really like that part. And I think that's it for tonight. So we'll power off the lights, put them on charge, and don't forget to show someone that you love them today. It's crucial. Okay.
Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's important for them, but it's far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you. We'll probably do an earlier one tomorrow when Brian and I are yanking this thing out. So hopefully before lunch, we'll get in here and get this stuff done. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. All right.